And welcome back here on our Sports Ticket on Katy Country 94. We're joined by Darren Grauerholz, recently announcing his resignation as a head girls basketball coach at Thunder Ridge. Coach, first of all, thanks for taking a little bit of time to chat with me. You've been doing this for quite a while, so I know that people have been interested in following Thunder Ridge basketball. We'll kind of want to know your thoughts of heading out and going in a different direction here. But I guess the biggest thing that I always ask anybody when this comes about is, why is the time now to step aside, and what goes into that decision for you?
Well, family's been number one, and I guess that was the one main reason why I got out of officiating, is so I could watch my daughters play basketball. And then Jeff Yoxall retired from coaching, and he told me to do it, or he was tired of me yelling at him from the sideline, so he made me do it. So anyway, I started picking up coaching back then, but like I say, it was all family related then, and it is now. I have a grandson that's going to be a 7th grader already next year, and I just feel I always like to support my family and like to go watch. I enjoy it, and I've been blessed with great kids and great family members, so that's the next step in my life here, and I just want to spend time doing that now.
When you started this thing, like you said, it was family motivation. I can probably guarantee you back then, too, you were coaching with your sister for a little bit there. And then, once Thunder Ridge took over as the Longhorns there, you took over the head coaching job for good there with this girls basketball team. You've been doing it for 16 years, 265 and 102 record. And obviously that was probably the motivation early, too, right, was to have the family being all part of this, and you can still see your girls play even though you're coaching them, right?
Oh, absolutely, and it was probably the hardest on them if you would ask them, right? And of course, like you said, with Chris Kirchhoff, helping out, my sister, and then she was able to coach her daughter, my niece, and it's I honestly would say it's going to be tougher on the kids than it is on myself, because when things don't go right, I'm going to bark at them first, and they can probably tell you the same sentiment. So I don't regret doing it, and I think the best part about that was when they were gone, I was happy to coach without them there, without worrying about what's everybody going to say about why is the niece playing, why is their daughter playing, and to get that out of the way, that was great. Then you could focus on coaching and not who you're playing, but you could focus on the coaching aspect.
When you look back at your time as a coach there for just the Thunder Ridge portion of it here, the time that you had there, you did, off the top of my head, I can come up with 2 things that are pretty significant in that time. You did go to state 5 times. You finished 3rd, was your top finish in 2019 in Class 1A. And then obviously during this stretch, you had a stretch where you had 7 straight Northern Plains League tournament titles. So those are 2 things that come to my mind during your tenure there. But what stands out the most about this time that you've had as a girls basketball coach there in Kensington?
Yeah, those were always big moments, but everything had to fall into place. And I always think back to that 7 straight, and if Brenna Eiler doesn't get hurt, and I just hated that, because she was such a great player. But if she doesn't get hurt, we get beat. We're already down. And I'll never forget, we're going to the locker room, Coach Cruzine's hollering at me, and he goes, "Hey, come here. He goes, "She ain't coming back." And I'm like, oh, crap. I hated that. But we go to the locker room, and I'm like, okay, I got to put my big coaching hat on now, because we got to bite back from this lead. And if Walters scores a few more points, she beats us single-handedly, which has happened several times in my career. But that was just a big thing that, and I think all coaches are going to say the same thing. Everything's got to fall into place. You have to have the right tools when everybody else doesn't. And I think, that 3rd place team at state that I took, it's one of those deals where had Central Plains still been a 2A school, we probably been runner-up at Hanover. I just feel like, man, we met a buzzsaw that day.
Yep.
And, of course, 200 and some other teams found the same way. But, everything's got to play into place, and that was just one of those things. But because Brenna Eilert got hurt, I got to meet her on a different level because I was able to coach with her 2 different games that year and 2 All-Star games.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great to get to know these kids in that aspect as well, to be able to coach other kids and having her coach with me. It was fun.
You're obviously not going anywhere. Again, we're talking with Darren Grauerholz, the now former head coach of the Thunder Ridge girls basketball team. You help with track and all of that, but you're clearly not going anywhere other than you're stepping aside from these coaching duties. So when you look back at your time, what are some of what would be the message you'd send out to the people of Kensington and Agra and Thunder Ridge and all the community there?
I don't know. That's thanks for allowing me to coach your daughters.
That'd be the best way to say it, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I know that Darren. We've had. Listen, if we could tell people about the conversations that we've had off the air when we do our weekly locker room chats, we'd probably get in trouble, right? But I do appreciate
exactly.
I do appreciate all your time over the year. It's been a blast chatting with you. And as we talked about in text, if you need me to call you on a Wednesday at any point in time, just let me know. All right.
Yep, absolutely. And like you said, it's just one of those deals where it's been such a joy. I know that there's been times when things were tough with certain players, whatever, and didn't quite see it the way I saw it. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I just thank for all the community support over the years. And I thank my boss, which is also my dad, giving me that time off for the time that I needed to do this job. As well as I did, and I think, somebody like Mr. Weens that gets everything ready for me so I don't have to worry about that, and my father-in-law, the bus driver, for getting us there safely, and most of all, I always thank my wife because she was the one that sacrificed the most because she was sitting at home waiting for me to come home, so I guess we're going to spend a lot of time together now. I don't know if she's ready for that or not, but the community support that I've had over the years was tremendous, and even from other communities, I was hit up at the track meet the other day by Mr. Gates, and hate to see you go type deal, and things like this, but it was a lot of fun. And I just want to thank everybody for that.
Darren Grauerholz with us on the Sports Ticket. Coach, we thank you again. Enjoy your time with the grandkids. We'll see you down the road, all right?
You bet we will. Thanks, Dusty. You've been great, and like you said, you've been one hell of a psychiatrist.
And again, back on the Sports Ticket here on Katy Country 94. Devon Branch joining us now, the former boys basketball coach for the Thunder Ridge Longhorns now. We just talked with Coach Darren Grauerholz and his decision to step aside as the head coach of the Thunder Ridge girls basketball team. And Devon, I know that you've been, full disclosure, obviously, Darren's your father-in-law, so you've had a relationship with him and been able to really kind of get into this Thunder Ridge thing because of Darren and Coach Grauerholz's time there. So obviously, that was kind of your in and the experiences you had. I'm sure you enjoyed, and we'll get to have a chat about that here momentarily. But for your side of things, Coach Grauerholz just talked about, family was one of the biggest reasons for stepping aside at this moment in time. And I know that you've been commuting to be a coach as well. So what goes into your decision to step aside as of this moment here for Thunder Ridge boys basketball?
It was a tough decision, because I live in Hayes, and my son wasn't of age to play basketball for a school yet. And it really just came down to the fact that he's going to be in 7th grade next year. He told me he's going to want me around more because he wants to start taking sports just a little bit more serious. Mm-hmm. And as a father, you can't tell your kid no, even though it hurts the people that I work with. But as a father, you can't tell your kid no if he asks you to be around just a little bit more. Commuting back and forth to Hayes, it's kind of a hassle, but I did it for the last 4 years. So I just thought now's the time. I taught the kids as much as I can possibly teach them for now, and I just throw myself into my family very more. It's been a year since I've been married, and I haven't been home much, so I just thought now would be the great time with a job offering, so I just jumped on it when I could.
So again, obviously, just like Coach Grauerholz said, definitely family motivated here, and I know just being around both of you for as long as I have, that's foremost in your minds as well. So just over the last 4 years, what stood out maybe about your time with Thunder Ridge? Like you said, you did teach the boys and felt like you've taught them quite a bit, and from the outside looking in, you obviously worked with that group and made them a lot better as basketball players. What's the biggest thing you're going to take away from your time here at Thunder Ridge, and what stands out the most in that time?
The biggest thing I'm going to take away is just the kids accepting me. A big city kid coming into country style, not knowing much, not knowing their living, and them not knowing nothing about me, and just accepting me and just accepting the challenges I put forward to them. And they excelled. They excelled better than I would have thought they could. They took me in as family, and I always cherish them as family. But my biggest thing is it's probably not even the basketball court. It's just what we did outside the court. Hanging out, trying to get each other, because every program I've ever had, it was based off family. I think these last 4 years, these kids have really became a part of my family, and they've bought into everything I've tried to teach them off the court. So that's my biggest thing, the accomplishments off the court.
How special has it been to share the sideline with your father-in-law over the last, now your father-in-law, like you said, you've been married for a year, but over the last 3 years and 4 years as an assistant coach with you too?
It's been an honor. I've learned a lot from him on the court and off the court, just teaching me farming things, big city kid coming to work on the farm. He teaching me a little bit of stuff like that. And, and I'm picking his brain about basketball, and he's picking my brain about basketball. You couldn't have asked to do it no better way than coaching with your father-in-law. That's just an awesome thing. It's brought us closer. He's like one of my best friends, so it's going to be hard not seeing him every day, but, we knew it was time. Time was ticking.
What's your final message to the Thunder Ridge community here?
I just keep believing in the kids. They're not going to get everything right away. Just keep pouring into them. The more you pour into these kids out here, the more they'll be willing to run into a brick wall for you. And I think that's just all what it was. Me understanding them understanding me giving a little, taking a little, and that just made them work a little harder. But I just want to say thank you to the Thunder Ridge community for accepting me and letting me coach your kids the way I know how to coach and pushing them to be better men off and on the court.
Devon, we certainly thank you for taking the time every week to join us on our locker room chats over the last 4 years and talk Thunder Ridge hoops. And it's been an honor to see you coach and improve this program throughout the last 4 years. We'll miss chatting with you each week, but we certainly wish you nothing but the best. All right, man?
Thank you. Appreciate it.